Hey everyone, this is Derrick Broze with the Conscious Resistance Network, and today I'm going to share with you some information about what's happening back in my hometown of Houston. You guys know I'm in Mexico, but I'm still paying attention to what's happening in Houston, and there's a lot of weird things happening right now in relation to coronavirus, and I don't know, should we start using that hashtag empty hospitals in Houston, or the hashtag film the hospitals in Houston? I did a video on that previously, but today we're going to dive into a new report from some local news that actually did some good investigating and the situation in Houston, which I'm sure might be familiar and similar to where you're at, and see what we can discover. First, though, I want to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com is the home for all of our content where you can get everything you want to know. Our About page tells you more about our history and who we are, who's involved. You can download my books for free or purchase them. You can watch our documentaries for free or purchase them, and you can read articles, watch videos, podcasts, etc. Also, follow us on all of our alternative social media platforms. You don't want to rely on Facebook and YouTube. I encourage you to join our text list right here. This is text that I send out daily. Whenever I put out new videos, you just get a simple text that says new video, new article, right to your phone, and you can watch it or read it at your own convenience. All right, so let's get into this. I posted this yesterday on Facebook on the Derrick Broze page. Channel 2 KPRC in Houston did a great job investigating the Harris County Commissioner Court's arrangement for a $60 million temporary medical shelter at the NRG Park, and that's where they, I think that's where they play football, Houston Texans, operated by Garner Environmental Services, a Deer Park company. Deer Park is a small suburb, well, not small, but it's a suburb just outside of Houston. And that's where this company, Garner Environmental Services, which apparently was awarded a $60 million contract, or potentially $60 million, depending on how much use they get and whether it's needed. KPRC Channel 2 found the following. Number one, the shelter is basically sitting empty and not going to use. So you guys have seen these temporary hospitals that are popping up in cities around the country, you know, to help with emergency relief. But this one apparently is not being used. As you can see, there's not lines of people. I mean, it looks basically empty. The report also says since the shelter is basically useless, the county commissioner court is considering ending the contract early. The county may, quote, be on the hook for millions of dollars. Translation, the taxpayers, as always, will be picking up the tab. And what I mean by that, guys, in case you don't understand this, when they say the county is going to owe this company X amount of millions of dollars, the county doesn't produce anything. The county doesn't own anything. The county doesn't have anything to make. They only take. They take from you in the form of taxes, which is a theft. It's coercion. And so they have money to pay out because you are going to be paying taxes. But they don't have anything, right? It's always coming from the taxpayers. The report also notes that 2 national databases had previously found that Houston was never going to reach capacity and that the peak has already passed. So then I ask, why the new mandatory mask order starting next week? And we're going to talk more about that in a moment, but basically in the same county commissioner court, because so just so everybody understands, you got the city council and the city body, the mayor, city council, then you got the county, which in this case is Harris County, where Houston is, and the county has the county commissioner court, and the county commissioners have various powers. Well, one of the county commissioners, Lina Hidalgo, just issued an order for excuse me, guys, a mandatory mask order in Houston starting on Monday. So people are kind of pushing back on that, and my question was, why are they issuing this mandatory mask order if you have this giant stadium parking lot with a pop-up hospital that's basically going to waste? I'm going to play you guys just a short clip of this from Channel 2. Like I said, this is some good actual local journalism. I'm not going to play the whole clip. Don't want to get a copyright strike, but I do want you guys to understand what's happening here. So check this out.
Channel 2 Investigates has learned that Harris County commissioners could pull the plug on the pop-up medical shelter at NRG Park as early as next week.
That site sits empty and has a potential price tag of $60 million. And tonight, investigator Mario Diaz takes a closer look at the contracts and some of the expenses that you, the taxpayer, will help cover.
As far as items on the agenda today, the largest one is the NRG effort, which is $60 million.
It has been 2 weeks since a 250-bed medical shelter started construction at NRG. The facility went up within a matter of days. There was even a splashy tour with the media. Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo making her message clear that day.
We don't want to be caught flat-footed. We're working to stay ahead of this.
But to this day, there still have been no patients, according to the county. Why should you care? Your hard-earned dollars are paying for it. Channel 2 Investigates obtained the full contract from the county with Gardner, the Deer Park company building the facility. It lists highly compensated personnel ranging from various safety officers receiving day rates of $2,875, $2,300, and $2,012 a day. Also in the mix, a finance section chief with a daily rate of $2,875.
For a finance chief? Are they going to have a bank in the hospital?
Also listed, 2 public information officers at $2,012 a day. Even though the contract the county signed clearly states contact with the news media, citizens of Harris County, or governmental agencies shall be the responsibility of the county.
Obviously, the county has a lot of public information officers that could be given this task.
Ed Emmett is the former county judge for Harris County and Channel 2's political analyst. We had him look at the contract and Garner's scope of work. His take?
It's a lot of money. $60 million. Does that make sense?
How this deal came about is intriguing considering that just over 24 hours ago, Judge Hidalgo described her decision-making process.
I don't make decisions based on politics. I make decisions based on science, based on data.
Again, that was Judge Hidalgo yesterday. Keep in mind, 24 hours before county commissioners approved the $60 million project on April 7th, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner made one thing clear.
We are still well within the hospital's ability to handle the load.
That you guys know I'm not a big fan of this guy, Mayor Sylvester Turner. He looks a little funny with his mask on there. But even he said on April 6th there in Houston, as this report just said, that they were fine, that there was no overwhelming load they were expecting. Yet right after that, the county commissioner does this contract for like $60 million with Gardner Environmental Services to roll out this hospital that is now not being used. And as you guys just heard a moment ago, I mean, these people are not being paid. These people are not being paid pennies. Like, they're getting paid like thousands of dollars a month, and $2,000 a day, $3,000 a day, in that range. You got multiple public information officers. You got it's ridiculous, right? But this is what's happening, and I think these things are happening all over the country. So many people are making, just like with the wars and 9/11. So many people are cashing in and making money in different ways, and the fear helps that, right? When I posted this, as I'll show you guys in a moment, on social media, people, at least some of the mainstreamers that somehow are finding their way to the page, are like, what's wrong with wearing a mask? Or, well, good thing that they had this hospital in case things were worse. It's like people don't get that they're being robbed blind. Here, let's watch a little more.
From our peak. However, back on April 7th, Mayor Turner's assessment has been accurate. And at the time, 2 national databases predicted there would not be any strains on our resources.
So right there, he says 2 national databases. I'm trying to get in touch with this reporter, Mario Diaz, who did a great job because, and this is my problem with a lot of mainstream, if you look at the article, he doesn't link to it. I mean, how hard would it be just to link to the 2 national databases instead of expecting us just to go on your word? Obviously, he's got some evidence, and I'd like to be able to look at it directly, but they show this screenshot, and you can see 12 days until peak resource use on April 19th, 2020. It's April 23rd. That means Houston has already passed the peak, at least of their resource use, hospital resource use, which would mean the peak of the virus, you would imagine. I think that sounds like what it's saying. And so they already knew that there wasn't going to be any strain on resources. And so now this thing is causing some backlash. People are, of course, asking questions about this, and I just thought it was important because not only does it talk about that they might potentially be ending this thing right here, it goes into next week they're set to vote on whether or not to close it down, and then of course in that case they're saying the county will still be they'll still owe Gardner Environmental Services some money, but again, it's not the county, it's the people. The people are the only ones that have money, and the county takes from the people, so the people have to pay for it in the end. So I mean, they don't really give a shit if they pop up this hospital, pay people $2,000 a day, and then if it doesn't go to use, oh well, like no big deal, right? Because the people, the taxpayers, are going to pay for it for $2,000 a day salaries and stuff like that. And as I said, I mean, if you're in Houston, maybe go film NRG Park, see if there is anybody. Is there any reason to justify it? It doesn't seem like people think. Even local council members and other county commissioners are opposing this whole deal and want to close it, and they've called for a meeting and a vote next week. So Lena Hidalgo, who's like the head of the commission, she's not looking good right now because She helped this deal, and like I said, she also just issued an executive, not executive order, but an order across the county for mandatory face masks starting Monday if you're over 10 years old. And people are pushing back, including her co-commissioners on the county, who are also against this NRG deal and are calling for a vote to decide to close it or not. So, but at the end of the day, the people are going to be screwed. Now, I looked into this, guys. This Garner Environmental Services right here, it is a company that it's based in Houston, but they seem to operate all over the place. I looked, and I did the obvious thing like search Garner and Bill Gates Foundation or something like that. I didn't find any of that. This is their LinkedIn page. They are owned by something called the K-Solve Group, as you can see over here. K-Solve, OMI, K-Solve Group. These are all interconnected companies, and they're definitely doing contracts with people all over the country. I saw Florida. I saw a few others, and of course the deal here in Houston. This says they're working with New York City Emergency Department. So these are people that I think are helping build some of those pop-up hospitals. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least the one in Houston seems to be empty. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to think, but if you're in Houston, friends, go check it out. See if this hospital should be open, and if you have any ability to make any effort to reach out to the county commissioners for whatever it's worth and tell them like, hey, stop wasting my money, shut that hospital down so that we can stop wasting taxpayer dollars and get things back to normal, whatever that means, then maybe make an effort to do that. And if anybody wants to help look into Garner Environmental Services, see if there's anything in their background worth reporting or digging further, please do that and let me know. Get at me at intothelight@protonmail.com. And then I just want to show you this last thing, guys. I just noticed this right before doing this video. About an hour ago, the 4 different council members, Travis, Knox, and Peck, and Kubash, put out this letter to that same Judge Hidalgo I was just discussing. And they're basically saying they don't agree with her about the mask order. So now she's getting people coming after her over this crappy deal with Garner Environmental Services. And now people are pushing back on her mask order. And the council members say, quote, "The facts are voluntary compliance is working as we are seeing a diminishing number of cases during the past 2 weeks. We refer you to the bar graph displayed behind you at your April 22nd press conference. We would point out that Houston and Harris County hospitals have at no time during this pandemic response reached their maximum capacity. There is no reason to suspect that continued voluntary compliance with the current CDC safety measures would not continue to produce a reduction in future cases. To arbitrarily decide to inflict more restrictions on our citizens at this time is, in our opinion, both immoral and unnecessary." So, wow, it's pretty interesting. And remember, this is the woman that said she makes her decisions based on science, not on politics and things of that sort. But she's getting some pushback, and I'm getting some pushback. And I just noticed that if you go here, let me just show you guys real quick on crappy old CIA Facebook. I got local people who I've never heard of who don't follow the Houston Freethinkers page, and they're saying, "Imagine being told it's all right to wear a mask in public in the age of facial recognition software and throwing a fit about it. Children, morons, wear your masks," they say. This person says, "Read some scientific research." This guy's just got a meme. That's his response, is just post memes. He says, "Yes, you're in decline, so why not continue the decline and wear a mask?" And I said, because the virus has already spread. Immunity is happening. The mask won't make a difference at this point, which is the truth. It's, I don't know what's going on in your area. I'm just telling you what's happening in Houston. I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that. I hate people who are saying fake, hoax, things like that. I think you're being a little too extreme with the wording. Exaggerated? For sure. For sure. Maybe underreported in some places? Probably so. But it's not going to kill millions of people. It's not going to kill hundreds of thousands of U.S. citizens, at least not in the next 2 weeks like they claimed. Maybe over a long period of time. But there's worse things going on. My point here, though, with this story is that, look, Houston is just an example that there's these pop-up hospitals happening. They're not being fully used in the ways that they should be or could be used, and the taxpayer are going to pay for it. And thankfully, at least some local media is calling it out, and some people are pushing back against the mask order. And, yeah, I appreciate KPRC too. They're an NBC company, so who knows? But on that case, they did a good report, and I'm thankful for it. So I appreciate that, and I hope that anybody in Houston, I know I have some friends in Houston who hears this and sees this, make some noise about this mask thing. I know there are people organizing an action to try to go out there and push back against, these things getting worse. Because if they can get you to submit to wearing a mask anywhere you go to, and get you to submit to doing a thermal scanner anywhere you go to, what else can they get you to submit to? What else will they push? How far will they take it if you continue to just lay down and let them do it? Those are the questions I think we should be asking. We should also be asking why taxpayer dollars are being wasted while the people are being told to stay inside and wear masks. And I hope we can get to the bottom of this. This is Derrick Broze of the Conscious Resistance Network. Until next time, remember, friends, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.